There comes a moment when you step into a world you thought you understood, a job, a relationship, a business, and one day, suddenly, it doesn't look like what you imagined. You see politics, backbiting, betrayal, and it doesn't just confuse you. It shakes you. It leads to a collapse, emotional, mental, because the world you stepped into doesn't match the story you believed. That's when most people crack, not because they are weak, but because they never expected the truth to feel this raw. See, you weren't born into the world. You were born into a story in the world. And that story wasn't written by you, it was handed to you by your parents, your culture, your school, your religion. It taught you how to live, what to expect, and who you are supposed to be. You were told to stay in line, don't cross it, be good, be nice, follow the script, and you did. But the irony is, while you were given one story, many of the people who gave it to you were living a different one themselves. Your parents may have said, study hard, be disciplined, but you saw them complain about work, avoid dreams, or live in survival. You followed their words, but eventually you copied their reality. That's how the confusion begins. And then one day you become an adult. You walk into a new world, a job, an industry, a relationship, and suddenly you are expected to operate in a system that doesn't match anything you were prepared for. The people around you don't behave like the story you grew up with. The values you were raised on are not rewarded. And that's when it hits you and hits you hard. The story inside you is clashing with the system outside you. That's not just culture shock, that's grief. Yes, grief. Because when a story dies, a part of your identity dies with it. You feel betrayed, angry, numb, and then you spiral denial, rage, bargaining. That's normal, that's human, but that downward spiral isn't the enemy. Staying stuck in it is. Your old story is like a script written by someone else. Tearing it up isn't loss, it's just the first page of your real life. I saw this recently in Babil Khan, the son of the late actor Irfan Khan. And while I don't claim to know his entire journey, I can imagine this much. Babil was born into a story. Not just any story, but the story of being the son of a man deeply respected in Bollywood. As a child, people probably treated him with admiration and kindness, not because of what he had done, but because of who his father was. And over time, that creates an emotional blueprint. People respect authenticity. Talent matters. The world values honesty. That's the story that may have quietly formed in his mind. So when Babil walked into Bollywood as an adult, he brought that story with him. He may have expected art, respect, and meaning, but what he found was very different. Cliches, gatekeeping, rejection. The same world that once smiled at him now questioned him. That emotional collapse you must have seen on Instagram, that wasn't just frustration, that was a story dying. And when a story dies, especially one that shaped your identity, you don't just feel disappointed, you feel lost. And this doesn't just happen in Bollywood, it happens everywhere. You walk into a corporate job believing merit gets rewarded, but watch politics decide everything. You enter a relationship valuing honesty and face manipulation. These aren't just bad moments, these are value violations. You see, a value is something deeply important to you. But to feel that value, your mind creates a principle, a rule. That principle guides your behavior. For example, if I value authenticity, my principle might be I must always speak the truth. But what I don't realize is to experience the value of authenticity, I can have different principles, that is, different pathways that lead to the same value. For example, authenticity could also mean I let others be who they are. It's not my job to fix them. Or if I value authenticity, the principle can be staying loyal to my goals even when no one's watching. These shifts matter because there is a trap here. If your principles or a principle that you have for a value requires someone else's behavior to fulfill your value, you have lost control. You are handing your emotional remote to the world and letting them press the buttons. That's when you break. That's when you lose yourself. But when your principles are rooted in your actions, you take back power, you stabilize, you stop dancing to someone else's music, you stop trying to control things you were never meant to control. And no, this isn't about becoming cold or selfish. It's about becoming real. The most loving people aren't the ones who ignore their needs or abandon their boundaries. They are the ones who fiercely protect their truth because they know anything fake is unsustainable. So, how do you begin rewiring your story? Step one, identify the rules you are still living by. Ask yourself every night, what belief did I follow today that does not resonate with me anymore? Step two, expand your models. Study real people, not influencers. Real people who rebuilt their lives after their old story collapsed. Step 3, reclaim one value this week by shifting the principle behind it. If you value respect, don't wait for others to give it to you. Ask, how can I live in a way that respects myself today? Step 4, stop doing this alone. Your story was shaped in connection. It gets rewritten the same way. That's why I have opened up a few limited spots for one on one coaching. But let me be clear, this is not for everyone. It is not a course, it is not a call. It is deep transformative work. And we only take on those who are ready to go all in. You will need to apply. And if we believe you are a fit, you will be invited to begin. This isn't about motivation. It is about rewiring identity, burning the outdated script, and rebuilding your inner operating system step by step. If that's what you are ready for, the link is below. And if you are someone who prefers a structured, self-led process, you can also explore Foundation X, a program, a home study program designed to help you rebuild your mindset, your emotional stability, and your daily systems, not with hype, but with merciless clarity. This is first access to a system that teaches what schools never did, but life always demands. So whether you apply for coaching or join Foundation X, take the next step. You are not lost. You are waking up from a story that was never yours. And the world will not change overnight, but your story can. And once that changes, everything does. Find the links below. Now go rewrite. I'll see you in the next one. Take charge.